Anyone find that switch?
I think I was thinking of doing this last time when we ended. Would I be able to try to climb up the wall here and kind of find a way around?
You could try. It's going to get difficult because of the way that this goes up about 20 feet, and then there's a lip, and then it keeps going up. So you'll get to a point to where you have to like not only reach up, but reach over your head. It's almost like a 90-degree cut ledge, if that makes sense.
Well, I can't go through that hallway, so I'd like to try.
Okay. Give me a dexterity acrobatics check, please.
Ooh, it can't be athletics?
I don't think so in this case because you're actually trying to pull yourself up some like smooth stone. Oh dear.
Okay.
So not only do you not make it, you slip and fall very spectacularly.
Oh, that didn't work.
How is
Yeah, so let me describe it again. What you guys are what he's talking about here. So there's two. Actually, there's several of them, but there's two surrounding you. They're sort of like turrets, I guess. So they go up 20 feet off the ground from where you are. They're made out of smooth stone, and at the top, it's kind of like a battlement on the top of a tower. So there are breaks every once in a while that are basically arrow slits that those doors were using before to lean over and shoot at you. So a dwarf, if he's standing there at the top of this tower, he's basically got his head visible, and that's how you were able to shoot him before. But what you kind of have to do is you have to climb up the 20 feet, and then you have to kind of reach around or kind of stretch yourself up and over the lip of this battlement to get over into the actual landing area. Some of them had ramps that actually led into the forge where you are, but the two that are surrounding you have entryways that lead elsewhere.
I have a bit of a crazy idea. Uh, you remember how you tossed me across the river earlier, right?
I was already
You
thinking that.
you might be able to, I don't want to say, basketball shoot me over that lip, but I am willing to grab onto the lip from the top and see if I can't get over onto the other side.
Well, I do have an idea that's not going to involve you horribly hurting yourself.
Okay, well, I will definitely prefer that.
Take an arrow, we fire it with a rope attached to it. See if it hooks on.
It's not a bad idea.
Does anyone have climbing gear?
Let me go take a look.
I do not.
I definitely don't.
I just have an explorer's pack.
I don't. I have cold weather gear.
So what you'll have to do is rig up something to actually attach to the top of the battlement so you could pull the rope and actually support weight. Because even an arrow on its own, if somehow the arrow were to like line up correctly through one of the arrow slits at the top, there's no way that arrow could support your weight.
Well, question. What's a javelin made out of?
I think they're normally made out of wood.
Taking a look at my inventory. I have a
I
javelin.
mean, they're certainly much thicker.
Yeah.
It's like a big dowel.
50-foot hempen rope.
We could always use my battle axe.
Just a friendly GM reminder too, there are other ways through this place. There is a door to the south that you all walked past and kept going.
Well, you said that was a spooky place.
Well, this is all a spooky place, but you're all
It is, and I looked at the map, and the map says,
There was the statue there.
yeah, there's a statue in the lift, but I don't know if there are any other, like, doorways to the right. There wasn't one drawn on the map.
Alright, I'm tying a rope to the javelin, and I'm gonna huck it.
okay. I think what we'll do is a ranged attack. I'm gonna say the AC for this attack is probably going to be an 18.
I will recklessly throw this thing.
Okay, so you're gonna rage. Okay, or you're recklessing for advantage. Okay.
Just recklessly for advantage, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's enough. So the javelin makes it over, and you pull it back, and it seems as if the javelin has caught itself on something. But I should mention that just because you made this throw and it was successful does not mean the javelin is going to be able to support weight.
It's not going to be supporting my weight, that's for sure. But the lightest one of us shall climb up.
Yes, Rorgar is also a big boy, so maybe not him.
How much does Virion weigh? Because Laja is stout and
Virion's pretty tiny, only 107 pounds.
so
So
Virion should go up.
My God. You're like the leg of Guardian.
he's 5'4", 107. He's ultra lightweight.
I should have just thrown you.
Why have we been throwing me this entire time?
5'4", he's very short.
He's tiny.
He's
Tiny,
taller
tiny.
than me. Me, the
Listen,
person.
I just assumed, the shorter one was going to be more aerodynamic.
I mean, true. Aerodynamic is a totally separate section from weight. But anyway, Virion can try climbing on up.
Yes, Virion will attempt to scale the wall with the rope.
Okay, give me a dexterity acrobatics check, please. With advantage with the rope.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, 23. That'll do it.
Ooh.
I imagine it's like a Circus Olay movements. He's like just twirling the rope around him, showing off, going up the wall.
I'm thinking it's kind of like in Princess Bride, where the Dread Pirate Roberts pulls himself up the rope, and it's like he's walking up the rope almost.
It's definitely a circusy routine. So now that I'm up here, can Virion see if there's a way to like let them in if I head down this little?
So before you continue, let me freeze you right there and tell you what you hear, because this is kind of important. I think as you might have seen around the corner, you hear the sounds of a battle, and just kind of creeping around the corner, you see the Duergar seem to be fighting each other.
Okay. Virion is going to run back into the other room and just kind of shout down and relay the message. I think the Dwarg are kind of mixing it up in a room over here. Sounds pretty hectic in there.
Okay.
Did you see who they were fighting?
It sounds like they're fighting themselves. Maybe they split off into two factions. I'm not 100% sure what they might be fighting about here. It could be a boiled mushrooms situation where one preferred, grilled.
But no way to disarm this trap because we can't get up there.
Oh, right, the trap. Can Virion do an investigation check to see if there's anything in this room that would allow the trap to release?
Sure, let's do it. Give me a perception check, please.
might take advantage of there.
Oh, the 16 perception check. You don't notice anything on this turret to actually turn off the trap. You did notice, though, before you made your way to the end of the hallway. So I stopped you before you got to the end. So I'm saying you didn't really peer all the way around. You probably stopped to the point where you could see a dwarf, and then you turned around and came back. But you did see that the hallway that you were walking to forked into two directions, a north and a south. So it's possible, either in the room where the Duergar are fighting, or perhaps further down the hallway, there could be a way to open this room or, turn off the trap. But nothing in your immediate area.
Okay, I am going to cast Pass Without a Trace on Virion. So let me make sure I have enough to do that. Ooh, I got one slot left. And there it goes. Okay, so now I got a +10 to my stealth. And I'm also going to use, I think this is just a trait, Mask of the Wild. I can attempt to hide even when I'm only lightly obscured. So I'm going to walk around this way. And if I need to do any stealth checks, you just let me know.
When you get to the corner, I'll need you to.
Okay.
Yeah, if you can give me one now.
Don't roll a 1.
Plus a 10. So
All right.
26.
All right, so no one sees you at all. But as you walk away from the hallway that you were in into the larger hallway that runs north and south, you can see into that room to the north. And what you see are all sorts of Duergar. They're fighting. You can't really tell the difference if there's a different faction or what the deal is, because they kind of all look the same. They're not wearing anything distinctive. But looking further down the hallway from where you're at, it stretches further south, and there's a split, like a T-junction further down. There are several other branches off of this hallway. So if you go down south, there's one to the west, which looks like it's probably that trap room. There's another extension from this, or break from this hallway off to the east. And then even further down, you see what looks like another small hallway, probably reaching to that other turret. You went to the north one. There's probably the south one further down.
Okay. Can I? Jeez. I don't want to push my luck just investigating everything here in case there's something that's going to set it off. I think I'm going to go into this turret and see if there's anything, if there's like a switch or some kind of release for the trap here.
And in fact, when you make your way to this turret, you do see on the wall, let's say like right there, you do see what looks like to be a lever of some sort.
Can I make a perception or investigation check to see if I'm confident enough that this is the lever that'll release the trap?
One sec, I'm taking a look at your character sheet.
You can always also ask. You can describe what it looks like.
Why don't you give me a trying to decide what fits here better. That's what my hesitation is.
Probably medicine.
Medicine, yeah.
It's a sleight of hand, to be sure.
It's probably insight.
All right.
Oh, very nice. So this lever, you have a good idea that it's actually going to probably turn off the trap. It looks like a lever you've seen in the past to open, locked doors, or, there's a mechanism that reaches up. As your eye follows, though, up, you see the chain that this lever is connected to that goes up into the ceiling. You do see what looks to be bells at the top as well. So you have at least the thought that you're not a dwarf, so you don't exactly know, but you have the feeling that if you pull this lever, it'll probably turn off the trap, but it'll probably also make a lot of noise.
All right. So I'm just going to walk over and peer over to everybody and just say, I think I found the lever to let you guys through. just a heads up, it looks like there's some bells, and that might not be great if those start chiming.
Do we want to take some time before we go, maybe to rest up a bit? I can heal us a bit in case we end up running into a fight on the other side of this.
Have we heard that like scream that we heard before?
You've now the time has passed. You do hear the sounds of battle, which is probably coming from the Duergar fighting in that room to the north. You haven't heard screams to the south really anymore.
So
I'm
whatever
fine if we want to go, but
whatever happened probably already happened. I have to admit I could use a rest. I feel very tired. Usually I'm very young and virile and I can fight for hours, but I just feel tired today.
if we can take 10 minutes, we might feel a little bit better. We don't have to wait a full hour.
Sounds
Garin
good to
just
me.
sits down.
I think it's as safe as it will be, considering they probably won't come through this pathway.
So if you want to do a short rest, I believe the minimum is an hour, but I will be a
I
little...
was going to just do a prayer of healing,
Oh, okay.
which is just 10 minutes.
Well, I was going to say I'll fudge it. I don't mind making it flexible.
If we can do a 10-minute short rest, I think that'd be better.
Okay.
The conditions
That's
are
better
eating...
than 2d8 plus 4, but
The conditions are eating, drinking, and reading and tending to wounds. I'm also going to add, if you want it to be shorter than an hour, it's going to also have to be something entertaining. Guardian does a dance, I don't know. Just throwing it out there.
He does the magic
to
thumb
restore all our
trick.
energy faster.
He just pulls off his thumb and puts it back on.
That's incredible. You must have very powerful magics.
He just stares at you and repeats it over and over.
In which case, if we are doing a speedy rest, I'm going to use some of my hit dice.
Yes, please.
And Virian's gonna cast Cure Wounds on himself. 1d8 plus Wisdom.
Oof.
Oh no.
Okay. Mhm. Well, that's better. 28.
How many can you roll in a rest? Is it half or all of them?
You could do all of them.
Oh,
Equal to
okay.
your character's level, so...
I'll do one more then.
I feel so much better with some HP. I was very scared.
Yes.
But you don't get them back
now,
until...
Now back into the danger.
You don't get them back until you do another long rest. So like once you've spent those hit die, they're gone until you take another long rest. So if I give you all another break, or if you want to take another break, if you've used all of your hit dice, you just can't, you don't have any to use again.
I saved one for an emergency.
Yeah, I'm saving 2.
All right. So if everyone has rested up, Virian is going to shout, "Ready?"
Good as we'll ever be.
And Virian will pull the lever.
And you pull the lever, and for the three of you down there at the bottom, down in the forge still, you hear a clunk, and the door at the end of the hallway the one here, actually opens, and there are loud bells that actually ring. There's no way that anyone down here at this level did not hear those bells. They're very, very loud.
Does the humming stop, though?
The humming does stop.
Okay, let's make this quick.
Alright. 1 second. Okay.
Yeah, Rogar's following right behind. I'm just writing down some notes.
Guardian, as you make your way to that T-junction, you hear a scream to the south, and it sounds like Kapanuk, the Goliath that you guys rescued earlier, and he's screaming, "Help, help, please, please, don't, someone help me, someone help me," and then it goes quiet. So,
Okay, which one of you I'm going to have to bust your teeth down so far down your throat you're going to have to shove a toothbrush up your ass to clean them?
so
That's what
Guardian,
says.
just
I
to
thought
be
it was
clear,
Al.
you're walking into the room of Dorgar, who are fighting each other.
I thought it was the other
Yeah.
way, wasn't it?
The shout was to the south. Guardian, you're walking to the north where all the dwarves are fighting. Away from
Go
the
the other
screen.
way.
Oh. Well, I already said shit to them.
No.
I will allow you to take that back if you maybe I didn't explain it very well.
Please.
The shout was coming from the south and you went north.
Directions are very hard. Just take
I
it.
love
Take
living with
it.
the
Go south.
Okay. I'll go down here and just shout out the same
I
thing.
can accept a lot of consequences. This
Okay.
is not the smartest consequence we could accept.
I just wanted to be fair before I threw you into a mass battle. So Guardian, as you stand here at the corner, yeah, you peer around and you see a very unusual fellow. So it looks like one of, it actually looks kind of like a smaller version of you, honestly. It's like a small suit of armor. It's black, just like the chain guy was. But the difference is it looks like a suit and it's being worn by Dorgar, but he doesn't look like he's very happy. And in fact, there are spikes being driven into the poor guy's skulls. And his eyes are open wide and in pain. I think I actually have a visual to show y'all. And at the end of his hands are like built-in weapons. He's got like claws, and the other hand is a hammer. And there's like a series of spikes being driven into his skull, and one particularly large one coming over the back that's digging into his head. And he looks over at you, and it looks at you, particularly Guardian, and in like a silent scream, he says, "Kill me!"
Yeah, how do you go to the bathroom?
Let's
What's
roll some
stopping me?
initiative, and
okay.
you can figure that out.
Perfect.
Oh, Rogar. I think I just need initiative from Virian.
10 minutes.
Rogar's just being careful.
I think we just need initiative from Virian. Oh, yours didn't pop up. You did a 7. Okay, I'll add that.
I don't know why that didn't pop up.
Did you not have your token clicked?
No, I was.
It's all right. I think top of the order is Guardian.
Well, let's end this quickly. Just runs around the corner. He is going to double maul Reckless.
Okay.
I'll do it one more time just to see. Okay, so 25 for the first hit.
25 will. Reckless, you're going to roll these at advantage, right?
Yeah.
25 will hit.
Okay, 8 damage. And then here's the second. 21.
A 21 will hit also.
He takes 19 damage.
2 solid blows against the Dorgar. As you're hitting him, though, as you hit his armor, it doesn't seem to really do too much damage. I think that takes us to Lasha.
I'm gonna move up a little bit. Let me see. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I can get up here. I guess what I will do is I'm gonna try using my fancy hammer. I'm gonna try throwing it because that is what I can do. There we go. 13.
13 misses.
Yeah, it'll miss and then it'll just come back. I don't have any good bonus actions right now, so I'll just go with that.
Taking us to the hammer guy. So he looks at you, Guardian, and he attacks you 3 times. Twice with his hammer that's built onto his right hand, and then once with a claw that's built on his left hand. So
Cool.
his
He
claw.
gets advantage.
Oh, he gets advantage. Okay. I think I said twice with a hammer, once with a claw. 19, 14, and 22. I'm imagining the 14 doesn't hit, right?
Yeah, that misses.
So that's a total of 20 damage. Bludgeoning, if that matters.
And that is what.
And we'll move on to Virion.
Okay. I think Virion is going to move around to the corner here and try and pop off 2 shots, hopefully aiming for his head. Don't know how else it would do damage against him.
Oh wow, a crit. So let me ask you, are you going to specifically aim for his head?
Yes.
So you can attack his head, but you're going to have to roll at disadvantage.
Oh. Well, that complicates things then.
Yeah.
I guess I'll just take the full crit
Okay.
body shot then. Yeah. So 5 plus 1.
12 damage.
I think that's total.
Oh, that's already doubled.
Yeah. I believe. Yeah, looks like it is.
No, I don't think it is.
No?
No, it looks like you rolled a 2 on the die plus 3. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it needs to be doubled. Yeah.
Okay.
You just need to roll another D8.
Right. I don't know why that wouldn't. So 9 damage on that first one. And then another shot with the longbow.
Unfortunately, a 14 will miss.
But my penguins will attack on the strike that did hit for an extra 4.
As the penguins swarm the Dorgar, they try to take bites out of his armor, and they don't really seem to do much. And they all just kind of sit there. Like one guy sits on his foot and just turns back and looks at you, Virion, before he disappears. And he has a little confused look on his penguin face.
You're doing well, Chucky. That's the penguin's name. It's canon now.
Taking us to Rorgar.
So I will move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 to get to the other side of this guy.
Okay.
And I'm flanking him?
Yeah.
So I will go for the head.
Okay.
So disadvantage, advantage, it should be just straight rolls, right?
Yeah, just one roll.
Perfect.
A 16 will not hit, unfortunately.
Okay, attack number 2 coming up.
23 will hit.
Awesome.
10 damage. That's a good hit.
Well, I always add +2 to my attacks because of my dueling fighting style.
So you strike with your battle axe and hit the Dorgar. He looks very wounded, but as you do so, he spins around and swings again using his reaction. He makes his attacks similar to what he did with Guardian. He makes it 2 attacks with his hammer and 1 attack with his claws at you. That's a hell of a reaction, by the way. How's a 15 and a 7?
Nope.
And a 16.
No, thank you.
So none of those hit.
Now just bounce off the shield. Brogar is expertly parrying the blows away and hoping Guardian can finish the job.
Taking us to Guardian.
Alright. So, advantage, disadvantage trying his head, though. Reckless, does that give me advantage again?
So advantage from flanking is canceled because disadvantage from hitting his head, and then you also have advantage from reckless. Yeah, that'll give. Yeah, you'll have advantage. Yeah.
Normally, it doesn't matter how many you have on one side. If it's 10 on one side and 1 on the other, there's just normal. But that's you can rule it whatever way you want.
I'd like to give him advantage because if you have multiple ways to get advantage, it kind of feels like you planned that. So I want to give you all that reward.
Maul to the face for the first attack.
15 will not hit.
Alright, and then swing them all back around for a second attack.
A 19 will hit though.
8.
Because you attacked his head, and removing his final hit points, I think you bring your maul down on and crush his skull. He gives you kind of a cross-eyed look, and he falls to the ground dead. Where he collapsed on the ground, there's a small puddle of blood growing from his corpse, but the blood is black.
Anyone have eyes on the Goliath?
No, I was actually going to see if maybe this door was open, if I could see anything past it. If maybe this is the way that the sound came from.
Elijah, give me one moment. As you approach the door opens.
Oh no!
Give me
I
a moment
forgot.
to describe the room of horrors you have just stumbled upon. Alright, so here's what's happening. The crunching that you heard before now makes a lot of sense, because standing in the middle of the room is a figure. So the figure, he's wearing dark robes, and these dark robes are interlaced with metallic pieces of armor. And the armor is decorated with carvings of skulls and spiders, and he's got this long purplish red cloak that billows behind him. He's like I said, he's about the size of a human. He's got pale purplish blue skin that glistens with mucus, and 4 tentacles pulse around his mouth. And as the door opens as you approached, Elijah, that's what happened. And as you look in the room, this figure turns, and he's actually got Kapanuk in his grasp, basically, and he drops Kapanuk, and you see that the top part of Kapanuk's skull has been removed, and in fact this creature has eaten his brains, and there's pieces of brains and blood dripping off of this figure's tentacles. His dark eyes turn to you, Elijah, and he casually just steps aside, leaving behind the corpse of Kapanuk. You also see in the corner, I'd say over here, are several dwarven bodies, like Dorgars probably, that also have had the top parts of their heads removed.
Can I close the door and run away?
I'm sorry, you were front row to it.
I would like to just close the door and back away.
Housekeeping? Oh, sorry, room's occupied. Bye.
I'm sure you could all tell from the description and from the token, but this is a mind flayer. This is the master, and when he speaks telepathically, actually in your mind, Laja, and he says, "Won't you enter, child?"
I would still like to close the door and back away if I can.
And stepping around from the corner is another one of those Dorgars, with the armor built around the one that you just killed. Is this one just like it? So we haven't actually gone into combat yet. So you do have the opportunity to speak with this figure, or of course, Laja, you can run away if you want. But the rest of you, what are you going to do?
I'm just importing it over a new character.
Virion is gonna use his last. Oh, sorry, he's got one more. He's gonna use a cure wounds on Guardian.
I'd save it for yourself.
I think you're more vital than I'm gonna be here. 1d8 plus 1.
And Laja, when you walk away, it's like you turn around and run down the hallway. This thing is still speaking in your mind, even though you can't see him. And he says, "You've come a long way. We have much to discuss."
When she opened the door, did Rorgar also see that?
Yeah, I think it's close enough. You would see it.
We need
Friends,
to get out of here.
I'm not sure what that thing was. Get out of here. Oh yeah, I will.
Whatever it is, it's dangerous. I think they said that whoever the master was is supposed to be this way, and that certainly looks scary enough to be right.
Of course, you use one of your last remaining spell slots, Tyler, and you roll that.
Yep. Sounds about right.
Thank you. Every little bit helps.
Use them in good health and good faith, Guardian.
So add a character. I know what that is, but Rorgar doesn't. But if he sees,
Rorgar can do whatever he wants.
yeah, if he sees people moving away, he's gonna follow suit.
So before we get started, is anyone going to try to talk to this creature, or are you all going to run away?
Virion's on the running away path. He's too dumb to talk to people.
Johnny hasn't seen it, and he's just following the group. We'll stick back a little bit just to provide cover.
I'm going to move you all back to approximate positions because we do need to roll initiative if everyone's running away. I'm going to put Laja kind of like right here because that will matter. The encounter is a little different if you're running away. So if you can all roll initiative for me, please.
So I got Dragonborn Monk I was looking at. He's, I think he's Way with a Fist. Yeah. Look, what was he again?
I think if he gets a really low initiative, maybe we can just kill him before he does anything.
Well, I'm looking at a nice, wonderful 2.
But
we've got Virion in the top of the order.
Virion wouldn't have seen or heard him yet. He only spoke to Laja, right?
Yeah, you wouldn't have actually heard anything. You might have heard the sound of the dropping body, Kopanuk's body. But since he's speaking telepathically only to Laja, you haven't actually heard anything other than that yet.
Right. So the only thing that I've seen is Laja starting to run away from the doors here. I guess Virion is just gonna pray. I hate that. Knock an arrow and just kind of prepare a reaction if anything happens.
Okay.
That's about it.
And next up is the Dorgar Hammer guy. And what he's going to do is take a position here in front of the doorway, but he's not actually attacking anyone yet. He is also readying something. So takes us to Laja.
Well, I have 25 feet of movement. I don't want to quite leave everybody behind, so I'm just going to take the 25 feet of movement and, just in case anything else comes up this way, I'll use the dodge action as my action.
Taking us to Rorgar. I think Rorgar at this point, as I said, you can see into the room. You see the dead body of Kapanuk. You see this creature that was obviously eating his brains, who's dropped him and stepped aside. You can't exactly see the pile of dwarves in the corner, the dead dwarves. You don't see that yet, but you can see the dwarf hammerer guy who's walked in sort of in front of the doorway, and you do see the mind flayer who turned and did sort of approach Laja.
If that hammerer wasn't there, I would be half tempted to do the stupid thing. But since he is there and I can't easily just run past him, I will follow Laja's lead, fall back. And I will hold. I'll use my movement to get there, and I'll hold. I will also take the dodge action. No, I'll hold an attack in case an enemy gets close.
All right. So moving to the master. So what the master does is he takes a few steps over here, and he takes a glance at you, Guardian. Waves his hand into a mystical pattern. If you can give me a wisdom saving throw, please.
We all know it's going to fail. Woo.
Friendly GM advice, this is an inspiration type thing. I would recommend inspiration.
Virion will toss up his inspiration.
Oh dear.
As I said, woo.
So before, Guardian, when you were in the forge and those mind masters took control of your mind, it was sort of like something just sort of like a puppet, just making you do the motions. You were still in, conscious control of yourself. It was just like a crude attempt at just making you do something. You remember you had to walk slowly and you had to attack slowly on the, mechanically on the reaction of that person's turn. This is very different. So what's happened is all of a sudden you feel as though you have fallen down a well, and you can still see like a very tiny point far ahead of you that is actually what you could see if you were Guardian, and it feels as though you are surrounded totally by darkness, and ahead of you is this tiny pinprick of light, which is probably the world that you can no longer see. And for the rest of you, what happens is the master, casts some sort of spell. You can't really tell because he doesn't say anything, and all of a sudden Guardian turns around, raises and raises his maul. This is very different than before, where Guardian was moving very mechanically. It appears as though this creature has completely taken control of Guardian. The telepathic command that he is issuing to you, Guardian, first of all, is bring them to me. And you hear that echoing in this dark world that you now live in, Guardian. You hear this deep voice echoing over and over, bring them to me. Just looking to see when this actually happens. Yep. Okay, so Guardian and Virian. So Guardian, you reach out towards Virian to grapple him. If y'all can do that opposed check for me. And one sec, because I saved the rules because I could never remember. It's for Guardian, it's going to be a strength athletics. And Virian, you can do strength athletics or dex acrobatics, please. Oh dear. So that's a 20 for Guardian.
Not a save, right? Just a skill
It's a
check?
check, yeah.
Jeez.
Unfortunately, Guardian puts his arms around Virian and has him locked in place tightly and, yep, drags him into the room.
This is
What-
great.
What are you doing?
And Virian, I think at this point, because you did have an arrow, you'd have an arrow knock, so I want to give you the chance. You could actually, because you had that ready, you could attack Guardian if you wanted to before he pulls you into the room.
I don't think Virian would understand why Guardian is doing this.
Oh no.
I mean, if I'm playing Virian true to who he is,
Yeah,
he would probably just let Guardian take him and trust him. Which is such a pain in the ass. But yeah, he's just gonna let it happen, I guess.
All right, so Virian, as you're dragged into the room, you see the creature that I described before, the Mind Flayer with his, purplish blue skin, and you see in the corner the body of Kapanuk, and you also see the dwarves in the corner.
Who are you?
Speaking telepathically in your mind, Virian, you hear him say, "I am your master."
No, you're not. Guardian, let's get out of here. Let's go. This is a fun little adventure, but we got things we need to do. We can't be hanging around with some guy talking in my brain.
And you don't get a reply from Guardian. He's holding you extremely tight, Virian.
Virian will knock on his armor, Guardian, and try and rub his ears the same way that Guardian rubbed my ears before at the tavern. What did you do to Guardian?
So unfortunately, the way this spell works, it's a much deeper control than happened before. You don't get a save on your turn, Guardian. That takes us to Virian. It is your turn. So you're grappled. You can try to break the grapple, of course. And you can do things while you're grappled. You're not totally immobilized. What would you like to do?
Cast Power Word Kill on the master.
Virian will try and reach for his Moonblade and take a swipe at the mask. I don't know if I can do that from grappled, but I believe I can though.
Yeah, grapple doesn't prevent you from attacking. It just removes your speed to 0.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna take a swipe at the master with the Moonblade.
Okay.
Great.
Oh.
That is a 1.
I'm going to be very cruel. You go to swing at the master and you miss him, and he actually reaches a hand forward very quickly and takes the sword out of your hand.
Oh no. You can't take my friend and my sword.
But I think that's Virian's turn.
That is, yeah.
So the hammerer, he moves forward a bit. I'd say right here. And he's also holding something. He's waiting. But we're going to move to Laja. So Laja, you kind of race around the corner and you look back and all of a sudden you notice, you sort of see the end, the back of Guardian as he's dragging Virion into the room.
Yeah, everybody's gone, so guess I'm gonna have to go back. There's no just running away here. So I'll move up 25 feet because I can't go any further than that. I'm gonna take out my holy symbol. I do still have my channel divinity, so I'm going to use it. Um, does Guardian count as a hostile creature?
Yeah, at this point, he certainly does.
He is 25 feet away from me, unfortunately. So that would be
It's probably a good thing if you hit him.
we'll see. That's a DC 15 con saving throw.
And this hits all the enemies?
Every hostile creature.
Nice. So, Guardian, if you can make a Constitution save for me, please. The Guardian saved. Actually, everybody saved.
Well, then that is 4 damage for everybody.
Well, the important thing is, Guardian, if you can roll that Wiz saving throw for that Wiz saving throw for me, please, again. All right, let me check. Is it saving throw or is it a Wisdom saving throw? That's not enough.
I mean, I have inspiration. I can give my inspiration.
Just save your inspiration for you guys to get out of here.
Are you sure?
Yep.
So, Guardian, you think for a moment, you see that pinpoint of light ahead of you get a little larger, but then it's still very far away. And I think that takes us to Rorgar.
If Rorgar is standing right here, can I see into the room about here?
Yeah, I think
Or actually here?
you'd have line of sight that way. Yeah, you can't see Guardian from there. It's the only one.
So Rorgar will move to here. And then using the final use of his orc symbol, will summon the famous orc war chief Bethany.
Yes.
And Bethany will appear here on the other side of the master.
Okay. Let me find that token.
And then do you want me to roll initiative for the orc war chief, or does it just go after me?
Just to keep things easy, why don't we just keep it on your turn, and it'll just go after you.
Can it go now?
Yeah, sure.
So it will get to make 2 attacks on the master.
Okay.
With its axe.
All right.
So Bethany, who looks like one of the strongest orcs you've ever seen, makes 2 swings with the great axe. They would be at advantage because Virion is an ally.
Yep. Okay. 16 will hit.
Do you want me to just use the damage average that it shows, or do you want me to roll the dice?
That's entirely up to you. Wow, 13. Okay, that's a good hit.
And then the second one?
An 11 will not hit. Give me 1 second. Ooh, okay. Just had to do a concentration check. Okay, that's a good hit.
And I think that's it.
As you summon Bethany, though, that token that you've been given by your friends, it just collapses to dust as you've used up all of its magic.
Fair.
All right. I think is that it for you, Rogar?
Rorgar himself will actually take 2 steps back towards the hallway.
Poor Rogar. So what the master does is here standing in the center. He does another arcane gesture with his hand, and he floats up. He levitates into the air near the ceiling, so he's now about 20 feet off the ground.
If he's moving that far up, is he moving out of the Orc War Chief's range?
He is.
Do I get an attack of opportunity?
You know what? I think you do. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a crit. Go for it. Oh, wow. 27.
I love that.
Bethany is great.
Wow.
And Bethany, as the master moves up, Bethany roars in an intimidating voice. Oh, silly! You get away from me that easily. And wham!
It's very intimidating.
It's very intimidating in orc culture.
So something happens, Guardian. Your perception eyesight was just a very small pinprick. All of a sudden, that pinprick kind of like evaporates away, and you feel back in control of yourself. You notice you're holding Virium and floating about probably, so you're 5 feet away, so probably 10 feet away, and then 20 feet up is the master, and you see like the Orc War Chief. But you notice you're holding Virion, but you're now in control of yourself, which is the perfect time because it's your turn.
He's out of my reach, though.
Yeah.
I'll just let Varian down.
Oh. Thanks for letting me down. It was a firm hug. I appreciated it.
Yeah, that's all I can do. That's my turn.
Okay.
What about
Alright.
your chain?
It's only 10 feet.
Oh, okay.
So I guess Virion, no Moonblade anymore. The longbow is probably out from close distance, so Virion will just grab his short sword.
Well, remember, he's 20 feet in the air.
Oh, he's in the air. Okay, right. Sorry. Then yeah, shot with the longbow.
Yeah, he's pretty much straight up. He's at the ceiling level at this point.
Perfect.
A 19 will hit.
All right, on the first attack, so 10 piercing. Second attack with the longbow.
20 will certainly hit.
Another 9, and then if he's close to the ceiling, the penguins will like sink into the floor and then jut out through the ceiling and peck at his head for a little 1 damage there.
I was hoping they were going to fly.
That'd be ridiculous.
Of course. So as the penguins rain down on the master from the ceiling, he actually takes your moonblade and he swipes at him with the moonblade.
Coward.
Sacrilege.
Believe that moves to the Dorgar unless you're going to move Virion.
No, Virion will keep steady right there.
And before the Dorgar does his turn, you all hear, all of you, telepathically in your minds, "You have not heard my offer."
Just looks to the Goliath, looks to all the bodies. Shove it.
All right. Okay, so the Dorgar Hammerer guy, what he's going to do is he takes a few steps into the doorway towards you, Virion, and he actually attacks you 3 times. Twice with his hammer and once with his claw. So first hammer
Whoops.
attacks. Oh, sorry?
Kind of forgot about that guy.
15
That one will hit,
and a 16.
and that one will also hit.
That's a total of 20 bludgeoning.
Ooh. And Virion is down.
Takes us to you, Elijah.
I have the feeling that if I go up to heal Virion, that Durgar is gonna have something to say.
I actually forgot the Durgar's there too.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I'm
Like,
very
straight forgot. I completely forgot.
I'm so sorry. With one spell slot, I'm not going to risk it. So I am going to use the Forge Hammer because I can do that from a distance at least. I'm gonna try attacking the Durgar with it. I'm gonna just throw it. And that's a 16. Just a anywhere hit.
That does not hit.
Well, it comes back, so at least there's that.
On the plus side, at least the hammer is still clean because you know it hasn't hit anything and got like guts or anything on it.
True, it's in very good condition.
Does that end it for Elijah?
Yeah.
Okay, Rorgar.
Will you let me switch weapons for free?
I think within reason. What weapon would you switch to?
Essentially, just grabbing my hand axe instead of my battle axe.
Let's say that'll use your reaction.
That's okay. I will move to here. And then for my 2 attacks, I like to make one with the hand axe against the Dwarger, and then throw the hand axe up at the master.
All right. So the master is about, let's see, he's 5'10 plus 20. He's about 30 feet away, if that matters.
I think that'll make it long range, but that's okay. I still want to try to hit him.
Okay.
The first attack is against the Dwarger.
A 12 will not hit.
And then I'll throw it up at the master.
You know, either one of those will hit. So that works.
Perfect. Too bad it got rid of a potential critical. But boom, I'll do that. And then I should have done the war chief first, but that's okay. The war chief, as a bonus action, Bethany lets out her horrible war cry. Okay, team, I believe in you. Let's go.
What's horrible about that?
It's
If you're an orc,
horrible.
if you were an orc, you would know why that's terrible.
Fair enough.
That means everyone, all of my allies gain advantage on their attacks until the war chief goes again.
Very nice.
And then the war chief will throw her spear at the master with advantage.
Okay. Uh, 21 hits.
Oh,
Wow. Hang on.
and I'm just hoping that I don't think that fails.
So mind flayers have amazing intelligence. So he's like passing every concentration check is like a ridiculous save here for this guy. But yeah, he's still staying floated in the air. He's actually there's all sorts of purple blood that's starting to drip down off of his cloak onto the ground. Anything else from Morgar?
The Rorgar's done. The war chief will move one step over to here. And that'll be it.
Okay. So what the master does is he uses his concentration and he floats, I'd say like right here in the corner. And all of you, except for Laja, everyone, including the Dorgar, the war chief, all of you are blasted in your brains like a loud piercing, like a buzzing noise. It just grows louder and louder. If you can all give me an intelligence saving throw, please.
Oh, fuck off.
All right, so it looks like Guardian's good.
With a -1.
I will use my inspiration to roll that again for Rorgar.
Okay.
Never mind.
Oh, darn. Okay, so Rorgar, you take 22 points of psychic damage and you are stunned.
Oh.
If
That's
you can
the part I wanted to save. The damage I didn't care.
But if it's any consolation, the Dorgar who's standing next to you is also stunned.
And then the Orc War Chief got a 17.
Yeah, so he's actually fine.
She?
A she, sorry, forgot. It's a she. And Varian was already down, Guardian saved. So I think everybody's checking. And Laja, you are just enough out of range because it's a cone. And that's, before we move on, the master says, I know the answer to the riddle that will let you into the treasure room.
Well, I think I can say for everyone here, I know the answer to the sound you're going to be making once I grab hold of your face.
Sick burn, Guardian. Oh, let's take it to Guardian. It's your turn.
He's still 20 feet up, isn't he?
Yeah. So he's about
stunned.
45 feet away now.
Oh, great. Let's have him float up so we can't have the melees attack him. Freaking mind flayers. Stun, that's disadvantage on attacks, or is that like when they're helpless? It's like crit.
All attacks have advantage. Other than that, it's really nothing else. They fail strength and dex saving throws. That's it.
Alright, well, I'm just gonna walk over to this guy and wrap the chain around his neck.
Okay.
So
Make an attack roll for me with advantage.
It's a grapple check, isn't it?
If you want to grapple him, so you have two options with the chain. You can actually just attack him for damage, or you can do a grapple, whatever you'd like.
I'm just going to do the grapple.
Okay. The grapple is for you. You could do strength athletics or dex acrobatics. You probably want to do athletics.
And you said it's a fail for him?
Yep, automatically fails, so he's automatically grappled.
Alright.
I can't remember on the chain. I know it does damage. I don't remember if it does it immediately or not when he's grappled.
Let's take a look. Take a look. The start of its turn.
Okay. Yeah, the chain kind of drops away from your wrist a little bit, and you swing it around and wrap this poor creature up. He does not offer any resistance.
Excellent.
But takes us to Virion. Virion, if you can make a death save for me, please.
Okie dokie. Ooh.
Okay, looking good there.
And I will continue laying on the floor.
So this Durgar, it is his turn. If you can roll damage for his guardian.
2d8s. I didn't make a macro for it, so he just takes 8 damage.
And actually, that's enough. With his mouth open in like a silent scream, he collapses to the ground. But you're still, he's still suspended from your chain, but he's not. There's no life in him at all anymore.
Can you throw the body at the master?
Maybe
You
if I
could
do.
try.
An
Yeah.
improvised weapon.
Maybe on my turn.
But that takes us to Laja.
Great. I am going to move up. Oh, I still have the ruler on. Why do I have the ruler on? Here we go. And I am going to bring back our good friend Virion with my last spell slot. 5 healing.
I will take it. Thank you so much, Laja.
We are out otherwise. No more.
I've got one more cure wounds at first level, but
And I moved up 3 spaces, so I can move back a little bit. Just in case.
I like how
That'll
Laja's
be
keeping
the
her options open in case you all die. She's already halfway down the hallway.
Yeah.
smart. Smart.
I just don't want to be all lined up, just in case.
Might also stand right here, too, just so it's less distance to close.
If you're done, Laja, I think that takes us to Wargar.
Would you say that this orc war chief had more than one spear?
Let me look at his character sheet. Her character sheet. I would think because it's a spear that she probably just has one. If it were or javelin, I could go for the argument that she might have multiple, but I think spear, it's probably just one.
With a strength of 18, would the war chief be able to make a jump to make one great axe attack?
That is a good question. Let me see how far you can jump vertically. Wow, so you can do a high jump, leap into the air a number of feet equal to 3 plus your strength modifier if you move at least 10 feet before the jump. If you make a standing high jump, you can only do half that distance.
So could the war chief move to here and do a jump up to make one great axe attack?
It says the GM might allow you to make a strength athletics check to jump higher than you normally can. You can extend your arms half your height above yourself during the jump. Let's see. Well, let's first figure out how far away you are from the master. So 5, 10, you're about 30 feet away. And let's see, high jump. So you 18 strength. Oh, was that +4? So you could do about 7 feet in the air. That's a pretty high jump if we're talking. Let's see, he's 20 feet up. That would be 3 times what it's saying your high jump could be. How about this? I'll let you do a strength athletics check, and if you pass, then you can do the attack at disadvantage.
Sure.
I'll say
Pretty
that
fair. I would
strength. I'll say that the difficulty will be the distance in the air it is, which is 20. And I think you just rolled a 21, so you can make the attack at disadvantage.
Come on, Bethany.
Beth.
That's a 20. That does hit. Unfortunately, you lost the crit.
If I could snap my fingers, I would. I just can't. Someone else snapped their fingers for me.
I can't either.
So 17 slashing damage.
Oh my god.
Bethany's a star.
Well, it would only be she lost the crit, so it would be the 10. Because I think the 7 is the double.
Oh, yeah, that's probably correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, that checks.
Yeah.
Still not bad.
So Bethany makes this like running jump attack and does manage to clip the master, who's kind of bouncing in the air. There's a steady stream of this like gooey, runny, like Pepto-Bismol like colored blood that's dripping off of him onto the ground.
And then does Rorgar get to make a save against the stun?
Wait a second. Yeah, you can. I forgot. I didn't realize you still were stunned. Yeah, go ahead.
That was all Bethany.
All right. It's a 15. It's an intelligence save.
Good thing I got that -1.
Yeah, it's not enough, unfortunately.
I would actually be making these saves if we were level 6.
Well,
Oof.
if we make it out of here, we might be okay.
All right. The master again looks down upon all of you. Let's see, 20 feet. Yep, that gets everybody except for Laja. If you can all do an intelligence save for me, please.
And you were making fun of me for moving out of the way.
So it looks like Virion and Rorgar, 22 psychic damage, and you are stunned. And you got to roll for the war chief too.
I'm very confused and upset that I'm rolling crits for something I had a -1 on.
It's an interesting night.
Twice. In a row.
Wow, the war chief's fine. Bethany is. This is the Bethany night.
As if.
Rogar, that's your new character if
I was
Rogar
gonna
dies.
say.
I have a different one in mind.
So
But
Guardian,
maybe.
in your mind is that ringing again, but I think maybe you're just filled with fury. But you hear a thump behind you, and you see Rorgar collapse.
Guardian's first thought, who can I throw?
It's Guardian's turn though. You still have the dwarf on your chain, by the way.
And he's still 20 feet up, though.
He is 20 feet up.
Mm.
About 45 feet total away from you.
I have honestly no idea what to do. Like, I just can't do anything.
Well, I'm sure you could jump and then add 10 feet reach of the chain and maybe pull the master down.
Yeah, let's try that. So what's athletics?
So you're gonna have to. What did I say? You have to do at least
he's not
10 feet
adjacent
to
to me.
get it there. So you'd have to move 25 feet to get in range, and then you can do a standing high jump. So what did I say? You could do a strength athletics. The difficulty is going to be a 20.
That's just from a standing, but he's not adjacent to me, which means I can move around freely without opportunity attack happening.
Yeah. If you want to do the same thing that Bethany did, you have to like first move so you're within 5 feet, and then do that athletics check. If you pass it, then you can do an attack at disadvantage.
Because I want to get a running start, so
Yeah, it's a requirement anyway. You have to be at least 10 feet of movement by the time you get there for him, but that would be 25 for you anyway, because you'd have to get within range. Like getting here, it's going to require at least 10 feet of movement for you anyway.
yeah, and I got a speed of 40. So, yeah, I'll do that. Yeah.
If you're using the chain, that helps you too. I'm assuming that's
I'll
what
be
you're doing.
using the chain. So athletics?
Yeah, strength athletics difficulty is a 20. Unfortunately, you run, get going, make a jump, and you only go a few feet off the ground, swing the chain, but you whiff the air and don't even get close to him.
Woo! Range targets. And our rangers down. Inspiration.
Okay.
Oh,
Come on.
I think that's it for Guardian. Takes us to Virion.
roll a hot 20.
So let me bounce right back up here.
Hey,
Oh my god!
nice.
I believe that means you get your turn too.
Yeah.
And full health, I read somewhere, right? That's
I
And
think
you're
you're at 1
Cure
HP.
curses too.
yeah, cured of all curses.
You
I'll
get
just
a
take.
hot 1 HP, and you can maybe help our friend over there.
I'll take it.
All you need is 1 hit point.
No, don't worry about me yet. Get this stupid idiot with tentacle face out of here.
All right. Longbow attack. Oh my god.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Shoot him right in his mouth hole.
Yeah, I'm aiming dead center for his uvula, if at all possible.
So that's 20 damage, right? Because it didn't double it.
It
That's
would only double the dice. So, if you just want to double it, the number he rolled, I think a 6 on the dice.
Oh wait, no, this would be the whole crit, because the 9 is 1d8 plus 3, 6 plus 3, and then the 1 is 1d8. So that is
Oh, it is. You just got unlucky.
Oh, okay. Yeah, 10 damage. Okay.
Do I get my second attack on that? Or is
Yeah.
it just the one? Okay, great.
Yeah, you get your full turn.
We'll try it again. Still pretty okay
Yeah.
for 11 damage.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I was
Penguin
clapping.
babies
Penguins?
for a little 3 damage, gnawing at some eyeballs if possible.
Yeah, I am not kidding. This is another penguin kill.
Yes! Penguins
I was literally
MVP.
clapping like LeBron James when he gets a foul call. When you rolled
Wow.
that 28,
Oh my god.
Wow.
Back to back, like, oh my Jesus.
Okay, so Virion coming from the dead, shooting this guy, and the penguin's killing it. I think it needs an epic description. Why don't you take it away,
Yeah.
Virion?
So the way I imagine it is Virion's passing away, and a member of his family from the afterlife, as his spirit's leaving his body, kind of like shushes his lips with a finger and is like, "Not today, boy," and sends his soul back into his body. He does one of those like ninja flips off his shoulders, jumps back onto his feet, simultaneously knocking an arrow in his bow, doing some sort of flip as he gets back up, shoots the mind flayer in the back of his mouth, while like knocking 2 arrows at the same time doing this. So it's a real tricky Robin Hood shot. Meanwhile, the penguins know it's going to happen, and they come out and just start devouring the eyes out of his head.
All right. And the mind flayer
gross.
falls from the ceiling. By the way, I had decided to name the master. His real name is Lionel Richie, because he's dancing on the ceiling. But he falls to the ground, and as he falls to the ground, he kind of collapses into a puddle of goo. And the Moonblade is swimming in the goo, unfortunately. But yeah, he's completely melted away into just like a pile of mucus.
That was clutch.
Well, shit.
It takes us out of combat.
What happened?
Like you like totally just killed that dude.
Oh.
And like that was really awesome because as an orc war chief, I really love it when people murder my enemies.
Well, I mean, what are you doing later?
Well, actually, in like 9 minutes, I disappear from existence.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, it's okay. I had a full life. This is me in the afterlife.
Maybe we could link up another time then. I was almost in the afterlife, so anything
Well,
can
my
happen.
name's Bethany, and it appears your friend might be on the floor dying.
Yeah, you wouldn't happen to be able to help over here, would you?
It's okay. He does that often.
And Virian will remember what the actual quest is and help his friend for 4 HP. And bye-bye spell
Better
slot.
than 2. It's double.
I mean,
Oh,
we're getting better.
You still have a spell slot. Okay, sweet.
Oh, that was my last one. Yeah, I'm clean out now.
Let's get the Moonblade and perhaps go over to where this treasury is.
Yeah, Garen will pick up the Moonblade and hand it back to Firian.
Thank you kindly.
And unfortunately, the Moonblade is just sticky with mind flayer gunk.
Oh, friends, I have such a terrible headache. What was that?
I don't know. Ugly and squid-like. Gotta check over on the dead Goliath.
Well, the situation with Kapanuk Talatree Thunglakolaga is that his skull is split open and his brain has been eaten. So that's usually he's very
his
dead.
Gear.
He's very
taking
dead.
his stuff. What stuff does he have?
He just broke him out of a jail. So he just was the only thing he had really were the rags that were on him.
Damn. I was hoping he had something secretive.
No.
And we're inside a building I can't splay his guts out for the nature.
I think he's been sufficiently splayed already.
Yeah. But not in the way I wanted.
Let's head on over.
Did the Mind Flayer happen to drop anything else?
Nope, he didn't.
And he turned into a pile of goo. He can't be split open?
No, I think probably when he fell to the ground, he was still solid, and he eventually melted into a pile of mucus very shortly after. You could maybe retrieve parts of armor that he had, and it's not going to provide you any AC, but he did have this whole like spider death skull thing going on that you could maybe pull like a bracer off if you want a token. But it's very stinky and mucusy.
No, I was more hoping like health potion or health potion.
It's
Mo
possible.
said he turned to goo.
Yes, friend, I believe you would have made him a very great trophy.
I wanted to shove this chain down his throat and cut open his stomach and then pull it through.
Yes, what did he do to you? He seemed to take over your mind.
Yeah, I really hate this place.
Do we know, do we have a sense of where the treasure room is related to where we are?
Yes, it is up the hallway to the right.
Up?
If you look where I just moved my token, it is to the right. That door that we were going to before.
Okay.
Are we taking 10 minutes for another thing, Laja?
I can't do this again.
I saved some hit dice, but I think we should just go.
Yeah, guys, just gotta annoyingly walk up.
Oh wait, I didn't do it before. I do have one spell slot left. I have just that spell slot left now.
If we go now, out of character, if we go now, we'll have the Orc War Chief with us for another about 9 minutes.
I think we should just go.
Alright.
Yeah, save the spell slot in case we die.
It's probably less than 9 minutes though, because we were rummaging around.
We're going up this way. Up.
So, Guardian, are you going that way?
I'm just looking at the door. Is it locked?
No, it's not.
Does it have handlebars to be locked?
It could be locked, but from what you can tell, it's not locked. It's
Does it
like a
open
little bit
inwards or
ajar.
outward?
It would open inwards, like you'd push it inwards.
Okay, cool. I'm just gonna take... I can't remove that because it's attached to me. I'm gonna take my shovel, because I have one, and I'm just gonna try and, like, I imagine, like, you know, the it has little hooks on the bars there, they put down a little piece of wood to keep the door closed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does it have something like that on this side?
It does not, actually. It has like a little keyhole, so you imagine this is probably a door that someone would have locked. It's slightly ajar, though, so you know that it's not locked.
I'm just gonna close it, and that key I have, does that fit?
No.
I kick the door and then fucking go back over here.
The door opens, and it reveals a room that appears to be... There are no people inside of it, but you do run away. There's stuff in it, but you scatter before you get a good look in the room. But you notice nothing is like coming out of it. There are no people inside of it, but there's stuff in there. But like I said, you bailed.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
Okay.
Definitely, I will need you to protect me. I'm feeling very weak right now.
So, Laja, you make your way over to the set of double doors, and actually above it in Dwarvish, it says, the treasure room.
And presumably when I try to open the door, it's probably not going to open right away.
Actually, the doors do open.
Oh.
And it reveals a small chamber. As y'all enter... Oh, go ahead.
It doesn't matter now since everyone already moved in. I was going to have Bethany move in first, just in case.
Nothing...
I'm only going this far so far.
Nothing immediately murders you, but let me describe this room because it's complicated. So give me a sec. So there's the two doors that you just came through, Laja, and directly on the other side are two more doors. What's interesting about these doors is there's actually large mirrors hanging off of the doors, and the mirrors are facing into this room. So like the doors you came through have mirrors on the outside. So like what happens is when you look ahead to where the treasure room would be, you see a mirror, and there's also a mirror behind you. So it creates that, like, you know, hall of mirrors, like endless reflection situation. That's what you see ahead of you. There's also two pillars, small pillars, in the middle of the room, kind of right where Laja and Virian are standing. They go up to the ceiling. One of the pillars has like a carving that looked like it would have taken a gauntlet as like a key. But the other pillar, the one on the right, is plain.
I don't know anything about this gauntlet.
There is writing above the door, this door.
What does the writing say in particular?
It is a very old dialect of dwarven, Laja, you notice, using a bit of language that's very old. And it says, "For ye who seek these treasures, ye must leave thine own behind."
It looks like I think we'll have to give something up in order to get whatever we're looking for. And Laja's gonna put her backpack on the ground and sort of rummage around in it and see what she might have available to leave, and maybe that'll help.
Oh, go ahead.
No, sorry. No, I'm okay. I don't need to cut in. Sorry.
Okay, so I have, and I don't know what we're gonna do with this, so I think it's probably pretty safe to take out. I have that black bowl from that cave a very long time ago. If I take that out and maybe put that in front of where that inscription is, does anything happen?
As you approach the inscription, because the inscription is over the door, right? So you probably get like about here. And what happens is as you're walking, you can see like your infinite reflection. You see you're getting larger and larger as you're getting close to the mirror. And then all of a sudden it feels like you're further and further back. And you realize that something is amiss. And then you actually bump into the orc war chief. And while it felt like you were moving forward in the room, somehow it puts you to the back of the room.
Did you say those mirrors were also on the doors we came through?
Yeah.
I'll close the doors behind us and then try to... This is Rorgard doing it with his -1 intelligence and still feeling the effects of the stun. He's going to attempt to walk through those mirrors.
Those mirrors on those back doors, nothing really happens. Like you walk up to the door and you see the mirror.
Does he bump into it comically?
Yeah.
Boom. Oh. Friend, sorry, I believe I've taken a serious head injury.
I feel like I only have part of an idea of how we're supposed to do this, but I'm honestly not too sure. Also, where's Guardian?
Maybe he's...
He didn't walk in. He's just he's annoyed, so he's staying outside.
And now the doors are closed. But he could probably get in just fine.
So you believe we have to give something before we are allowed in?
I tried to go up near the inscription to give something, but should I just try putting it down over here? I don't know where to give something up.
Asha, why don't you roll a history check for me? Things happen in the past. There are important things, but Lasha can't remember them.
You can see Lasha's thinking really hard.
I mean, if we must give something of value, I'm afraid I don't really possess much. My holy symbol is mostly made of wood.
I have this. I have some potions which do interesting things. I know We found some other miscellaneous items. I don't know what will help or where to put it. And
Virian is
Lasha goes
going.
back to thinking.
Virian is just gonna strip fully nude and pile all of his gear in the corner here, and just say, "If we need to get rid of all of our treasures, I'm not leaving
Is that
anything to
treasure?
chance." I mean,
It's just stuff.
it's treasure to me. Treasure's in the eye of the beholder.
But who decided? Never mind.
The Varian, you've stripped all the way down, dropped all of your stuff. Now what?
I'm just gonna walk to this point.
And you make it all the way to the door.
Wait, you have to be fucking kidding me.
Feels good, Rorgar.
Like, it's going to take me like 10 minutes just to get this thing off. As he points to his like armor and stuff.
And Lasha, it dawns on you, perhaps what you couldn't remember before. If you're thinking like a dwarf, so when this kingdom was actually up and running, there were probably guards in this room, and people would probably want to come to the treasure room to actually see things, see the treasure. It wasn't just hidden away. So the king, when they created this room, was probably being very clever, and while allowing people to view the treasure, he didn't want anyone to be able to steal anything. And the easiest way to make sure that someone couldn't steal anything would be to make sure there were no places for them to hide anything. So the only way they could actually get to the door was if they had nothing on them. So then when they went in the treasure room, there was no way to hide anything that they could steal. So thinking like a dwarf, this kind of makes sense.
You know what, Virian? I can sort of see where your thought process is going. Well,
Virian just kind of nods his head, but it's the nicest thing anyone has ever said to him with regards to his intelligence. So he is just so happy on the inside.
I think Rorgar will start following suit. It's probably been 10 minutes, so Bethany probably says goodbye.
well, luckily for you, it will only take 5 minutes. I double checked.
Okay.
It's me 1 minute, you 5 minutes.
I do wonder if we'll be able to bring anything out, though.
So the treasure room, Virian, as you walk to the doors, you can only there are two doors. You can only push one of them open. One of them stays closed, and it keeps the whole mirror effect in place. But the rest of you, if you strip down, you don't have to go all the way, naked, but pretty much remove anything of value or anything you could actually use to hold something or store something. Then the mirror allows you to do, what Virian has done and approach the door and continue on. But Virian, what you see is the treasure room of Battlehammer Hold. It's a large room. There are alcoves. 4 alcoves set in the north and 4 alcoves set in the south. There are also bookshelves lining the far eastern wall. And the bookshelves go all the way from floor to ceiling. And on these bookshelves, you see scrolls, large tomes. There's also magical orbs of light bobbing close to the ceiling, shedding a little bit of light around the room. But on each of these alcoves, you see large treasure chests.
I guess Virian's just gonna hit the first alcove down here.
And point of order for Guardian, obviously you can't take off your armor because that is you. The way for you to get here, you could very quickly tell through trial and error, is you have to leave everything. Of course, you can't leave your chain, so it's probably just your weapon and your gear.
He's not even in that treasure room.
Okay, if you're interested, okay. So when you go to look at the chest, Virian, you notice that it has a lock that's built into it. So this chest is made out of iron and what looks to be a dull metal, maybe like a brass probably, but you don't know. But there is a lock, an ornate lock that's built into it.
All right. Not a whole lot of options being nude. So that's tricky. Could Virion just try and see if, like, because he's nude, maybe the lock will register that he's not gonna take anything and it'll just open for him?
You do notice, in addition to a key as you're inspecting it, it looks like there might be a place for a combination. And the combination is not in numbers, it looks like in dwarven runes.
All right.
But let's talk about what Guardian's doing, because I think something important can go here. So Guardian, I want to tell you a little bit about the room, the door you opened. So you kicked open the door and you ran away, but you noticed there was no one in this room. But let me describe what you did see before you exited. You saw a large table in the center, like some papers on it, a few chairs and all that, and probably like a large bed, if that's of any interest to you.
Is there fighting still happening to the north?
Yep.
Alright. I'm just gonna stand here and pose as a statue. Just be very still.
Okay.
So the only things we see are in these alcoves. There are chests.
There are chests in the alcoves, and on the eastern wall, it's a large bookcase that stretches from floor to ceiling, and covering on every shelf of that bookcase, there are scrolls and books and stuff.
I would like to take a look at the bookcase because I feel like that's the most likely place to find a map.
Yeah, can Rorgar help?
Yeah. So very easily, you spend some time on it as Virian's working on his project. You notice there are all kinds of books covering, from history books to atlases to like seedy romance novels that apparently some dwarven kings are really into. And you actually uncover what looks like a spell book at one point, a very large, very thick spell book. And then also at one shelf, they're just a series of scrolls, like it's just scrolls all the way across.
Well, one of these has to lead to the right place, right?
I have no idea. I can't even really read any of this. Is any of it in common or draconic?
No, I think it's all dwarven.
Yeah, so everything just looks like the menu to Rorgar's favorite dwarven pub in Neverwinter.
Well, if you find all the ones that look like maps, then I can look through those, and that'll save me some time. Teamwork?
I will do my best.
So we'll have Rorgar pick out the maps. I will look over the maps and find which one leads us to the right place.
You do manage to find, after a while, a series of maps that look like they do call out a path that used to be like an old travel highway that used to exist between the Dwarven Valley and an Elvish kingdom. And it places it pretty deep in the Reged Glacier, which is to the northeast.
I think these will work if we want to start heading out.
And do we know that that's what we were looking for?
The place is marked in an old dwarvish phrase, but that basically translates to Elvish City.
I don't think there will be too many other places that, will be Elvish cities. At least in this area.
Okay, yeah, we were looking for Yeah. Sorry, I just had to go through my notes. We need to find the ancient texts of the old elven people. That's what I wrote down. So that would give us a clue on how to get there. Yeah, why don't we just grab all these maps, assuming it lets us leave?
I wonder if we'll have trouble just taking one out, let alone all of them.
As a experiment, Morgar will take one of the maps in hand and try to walk back into the foyer or the area over here.
And the entire fortress collapses on top of you.
No.
I'm just kidding. It's fine. Rorgar, one of the maps you're looking at as you're walking out, it has an area marked to the northwest. It looks like there is an ocean to the northwest that you guys haven't visited yet, but there is something marked, and this is actually in common. It says the Fortress of Grimskull, and I'll put that in chat. And there's a message underneath that written in Dwarvish you can't see. But what's interesting is that why this caught your attention is this is the only part of common that you've noticed on really any of these maps. But when you walk through the door, nothing happens.
Well, it appears okay. Let's grab all the maps and bring them back to our friend, Verlaine. She will know which one is correct.
Okay. I will grab an armful of maps and start heading over to the other side.
By the way, I wrote Grimskull as Grimskull, and I'm not going to change it in my notes.
It might be pronounced differently, but I'm calling it Grimskull.
I just prefer that. After we prove that we can get out, Rorgar will go and check one of the chests down here. All of them have the same lock on it?
Yeah, the chests from the outside all look the same. They're made of slightly dull metal, and they have a place for a key, and then also it looks like some sort of combination.
I will leave and duck my head out here, opening the door slightly. Still, I guess, almost fully nude. Rorgar is shameful enough to probably have. He's wearing an old Italian man's wife beater, and a little pair of short shorts. He's probably a never nude.
Funny, that's how I always picture Rorgar.
Well, the old man tank top didn't appear until he had a run-in with a ghost. It just magically appeared on his body. But he'll try to make a noise to get Guardian's attention. Guardian, come here.
What is it?
May I please borrow that key you found?
I'll give it to him.
And then Rorgar will go and attempt to use that key in one of the chests.
Which chest?
I feel like I don't want to interrupt Virian. Oh, you asking that makes me feel like these are trapped.
Why on earth would you think that? This is such a friendly place.
One of them is a mimic.
I will attempt to do the one on the opposite side, away from everybody.
Okay. So when you open the chest, there are a dozen stoppered gourds that are arranged inside of it.
What?
They're gourds, but they have like a cork on the top of them, like they're stopping, like it's a bottle almost, like it's probably been hollowed out and there's something inside of it, but there's a cork on the top for all of them. There's a dozen of them.
Well, I'll leave it open and then go to the next one and open it. And I'll do that until something bad happens to me.
Okay. So the next chest, it's a gold mask, and it's shaped like the face of a male elf. And that's very interesting. It's obviously very valuable, but what it's laying on is a pile of gold coins that almost fill half of the chest.
And I hate to say this, but Roger is only looking to look. He does not want to take any of this stuff. It does belong to the dwarves that normally live here. One day they'll come to get it back. He does not, and that's Rorgar. So he'll keep going. But he'll leave the chests open so Laja and Virian can come and look as well.
Chest number 3, moving, from the top across. When you open it, there's a silver chalice shape in the likeness of a spider, and it's inlaid with 8 obsidian eyes.
These all sound like they're probably really good magical items. On to the next one.
Chest number 4, you open it, there's a bundled up grayish, gray, very soft silk robe, it looks like. It's bundled up, so you'd actually have to dig, move it aside if you want to see what's under it, if there's anything at all, but it's pretty much filling up to the top, this gray silky robe.
Rorgar will put his hand in it and try to move it aside.
I love how scared you are. But no, there's a wand underneath. And this wand is, it's like a pale silver. And covering the wand, interlaced, it's not exactly carved. It's sort of overlaid on the wand. It looks like a webbish pattern.
Hey, I think I know what that is, but these are very interesting treasures. Wow. I am very glad we got here. On to the next one. Laja, this is like a museum.
I mean, it kind of basically is at this point, since, nobody currently lives here.
Since those things come up to fuck with me from down below, I'm gonna go back down to that room.
Okay. Rorgar, let's deal with this chest, and then we'll talk about what Guardian's doing next. Rorgar, as you open this chest, you click the key into the lock, open the chest, and it looks like there's something in there, but before you can really get too close, you start to lean in, and a yellow mold bursts into your face. Give me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Is that only attacking him because he has to breathe?
Well, he kind of leaned over as he opened the chest, and it's like a mold that burst into his face.
I was open 4 with no consequence. Rorgar's probably feeling a little confident.
It's a large cloud around you that quickly dissipates, which fortunately no one was around you, and you weren't very close to the others. And that is definitely a save that you wanted to make, so it's very good that you did that. But now that this mold has, popped, you can see what the cause of it was. It was a spore that was probably just growing inside of the chest, but at the bottom of the chest, it looks like a skull of some kind of small gnomish looking creature. But what's very interesting is that the skull, one of the eye sockets, you see like a false eye made of kind of a dull gem.
I think Rorgar's very glad that an actual pudding or mold creature didn't actually come out, because that would have been bad. I'm going to use Divine Sense, and then we'll go on to Guardian.
Divine Sense, let's see, what would you detect? You detect that the chest here, the one next to the one you're at, is not a good chest. You detect something very bad there.
Okay.
Other than that, it seems pretty clear.
I'm good to go for now then.
Guardian, going back to you. As you go back to that room, you see, like I sort of mentioned before, a large table with papers on it. And as you approach, it looks like a large map has been, sort of stapled in to the table. And then there are chairs all around the table. And then also in probably the second third of the room is a large bed.
I'm just gonna rummage through things.
very plainly, as you look at the map, it looks like a map of the 10 towns, and there is a large black figure that's been carved in the shape of a dragon. And it looks like someone has drawn with chalk or something, a path starting here in the Dwarven Valley across, doing like a pattern to each of the 10 towns.
What's the first town hit after the Dwarven Fortress?
The first town is the closest town to the west of where you are now, and that is the town of Tourmaline, which you have not been to before. But you notice immediately after Tourmaline are towns you have been to before. Like the next one is Lonelywood, and then it goes Bremen, and it kind of goes south, cutting back around. So then it goes like Targos, Bryn Shander, and then moving around to some of the others that you haven't been to, like Duggan's Hole and Goodmead, and then on back around.
Okay. Any documents pertaining to the dragon?
You do notice some plans, and you could maybe present these to someone else who might. Well, actually, you do have blacksmithing tools and a bit of blacksmithing experience. It does look like the king melted down other warforged that might be similar to you, and has used some of them to construct this dragon. And this thing looks like it was probably a significant effort to build. You don't see any weaknesses on it though, but it does have a few things you can notice. It does have the ability to breathe, not fire, but a destructive weapon from its breath.
Anything about controlling it?
You don't see anything about that.
Yeah, I'll just gather all that stuff up, including the map. I'll pry out the staples best I can. Yeah, I'll just check everything, like under the bed, under the mattress, behind cupboards and shelves, even the chairs.
You do notice that the bed, as you pull back some of the sheets, there is a thin layer of mucus.
Ugh.
Bedwetter.
This might have been the master's little boudoir where you'd hang out.
Yeah, I just kind of crumple up the sheets, throw them into a corner.
But I'm interested.
Though.
I'm interested what Varian and Laja are doing. So, whatever y'all are doing, you just notice a big yellow cloud like burst out of this chest that Rogar opened.
I was originally going to come over here to see what Varian was up to with his chest over here.
Virian's kind of on edge for being around chests and stealing things since it hasn't been working out great ever since he's stolen the last or robbed that last grave. So he's just rethinking a lot of his life decisions up to this point right now.
This is out a grave. These are chests. Different things.
Tyler, did you were you back when I used my divine sense?
Oh no, I don't think I was.
So I got a really bad feeling off of this one. Although that doesn't mean there isn't a trap here. It just felt like this one had something particularly evil in it.
Right.
Did you tell everyone that?
I would now, yes. After the puff of mold bursts up and Rogar kind of closes his eyes, backs away, you see him pause for a second with his holy symbol in hand, and then I believe this one is to be avoided. And actually, he'll come and hand the key to Laja, and then kind of just step into the middle of the room and just stay back from everyone else.
You want me to take a look at this one right here?
My guest.
I'll take the key and I'll just see what that does with this chest.
So that one, When you open it, Laja, you see an amber headdress, and there are 3 large purple pearls set in it.
Furion, do you have that one, or do you want to try the key?
I'll try the key, I guess.
I'll hand the key over. We can look at things. We could
I
just see
don't,
what's here for now.
I don't think we told him the whole time we were opening the other ones. I think he was too engrossed in this one to even realize we had the key.
Yeah, I may have missed that.
He is just feeling a kind of way right now. He's gonna go to bed and he's not gonna feel any better too.
Yeah, Virion definitely has not slept in. I think it's at least 2 days at this point.
And
Yeah,
he
I
has to
believe
wait one more day.
I used greater restoration on you, not greater, lesser, to remove one of the exhaustions.
I thought, I could be wrong, but I thought there was no exhaustion from this. Like, I still sleep. I just don't get the benefits of the rest, right, Josh?
Yeah, that's right. I think you had exhaustion from something else, though, that he took away.
Yes, yeah.
Would have been cured
was,
from it. Yeah.
That was in the cold, I think, when we were. Yeah. Anyways,
But I'm not giving you exhaustion from the curse because that would be very cruel.
I would have died long ago. So Virion will take the key and try opening this chest then.
And when you open the chest, there's this dark spider silk cloak, and you immediately recognize it, Virion. It is a Powafui. Basically, it's a cloak of elvenkind, but it's made by the drow, and you've probably heard or run across these in the past, but you know that as soon as it meets sunlight, it's just going to disintegrate. But until then, it acts as a cloak of elvenkind.
Virion thinks about grabbing it, but he thinks better of it and lets it stay in the chest.
So Rorgar's going to start leaving. But I don't know if Tyler heard what was in the chest along the top there. So could you give him just a quick breakdown?
Yeah, running from the top left and then going clockwise around. So the first chest, there were a dozen stoppered gourds. And then the second chest was a golden mask in the shape of like a male elf face. And then the rest of the half of the chest was filled with gold. The third chest was a silver chalice shaped like a spider. The fourth one, this is the last one on the top row, there was a robe that you kind of moved aside, and the bottom was a wand of some kind. And then moving back around from the right side on the bottom was the one that had the yellow mold that, caused you the problems. That one had a skull, just like some kind of like small creature, but one of the eye sockets of the skull looked like some kind of gem. The one next to that, to the left, you didn't open because you got a bad vibe from it. The one next to that Laja is right in front of, she saw there's an amber headdress that has 3 large pearls in it, and then the one you're in front of, Virion, of course, has the cloak.
Okay.
I think by now Guardian's just going to make his way back to them.
It's a good question, Guardian. Let me read the description. It loses its magic if exposed to sunlight. I thought they completely disintegrated, but we'll just follow the description and say it loses its magic. Which is honestly not much of a problem right now because there's really no sunlight in Icewind Dale.
Yeah.
The only problem I can foresee is how, and this would have to be something you would have to come up with, how would my channel divinity affect that? Even though it's only an hour, it's very powerful sunlight. Would that make that happen sooner?
That's pretty funny.
I think it would
That's a
eventually
good
wear it
question.
down. Yeah, because it's a drow-made artifact, I would say that, you channeling, it would weaken it over time, and after you did it, I'd probably keep a count, and after a certain number of times, I would just say it's lost its magic.
I feel like it's not worth it.
I'll
Maybe
set
if I
that
was
stuff.
any other kind of cleric.
what did I need to do to get in there again? Just like what, put my weapon down?
Yeah, and all of your gear, you obviously can't take your armor off, but everything apart from that, if you drop it, you could walk through. Yeah.
Yeah, poke on my way through. Hey. Found some shit.
And as you're walking, as you like go to turn, as you see the door start to close behind you, you see a small Duergar female walking down the hall towards you, Guardian.
Yep, might have to kill someone. Be right back. Fuck you want?
So, I see that you killed the king.
Oh, were you... mushrooms are better boiled?
Oh, yes. And you notice that as you get closer, she's a Duergar. She looks like she's in very advanced age. Her skin is very wrinkled, and she's not so much pale as the other Duergar. She's like a mix between a gray and a white, and her eyelids are doing that thing where they're sagging a bit because, of her age. Her ears are let's see, she's got like long curly hairs growing out of her ears. And she kind of looks at you and adjusts the spectacles on the tip of her nose, and she says, Yes, I am the leader of the insurrection.
Well, friend, as I come back, I follow Guardian M. We actually killed your master as well. He was eating brains. Seemed very weird.
Oh, good. Yeah, she did have a taste for brains. It was quite inconvenient.
You do not share this taste, do you?
No, I never acquired the taste for them.
You tried.
Keep it on the stuff. He just walks on in.
I'll step forward and kind of let Guardian do his thing.
It's a shame.
I'll come. Yeah.
It's a shame the dragon got away. But I guess it's good to be rid of it.
Holy potatoes! I forgot completely about that. I've taken repeated blows to the head. What do you know of this mechanical dragon?
Well, the king was convinced that the 10 towns were going to steal his treasure, so he unleashed the dragon to kill them all.
That is, how you say in common, bad.
Yeah, it's too bad for them you didn't get here sooner.
Well, we tried. And I did push the king into lava and watch him burn. It was quite a heroic feat, if you ask me.
And she adjusts her spectacles. I can see you've helped yourself to the treasure room.
We didn't take anything but a few small documents. The treasure itself, magnificent. I would not want to touch it and take it. It is a museum piece.
Sure. My people, I'm going to take what we can and head back to the Underdark. I'm very tired of this place. It's too cold, too many things trying to kill us, or eat our brains.
I agree. I do not like that. It was maybe the most disgusting thing I've seen in my my short life. I'm very young.
I'm gonna curl up with a bowl full of mushrooms and read from my favorite romance novel.
And what is the title of this novel?
Yeah, you didn't think that far ahead now, did you, GM? The Passions of the Umber Hulk. How about that?
Oh god. The Forge of Flame.
Oh, I have not heard of that one, but I will, I will look it up.
The cover says not even the cold could extinguish their passion.
Oh, I am feeling steamy even from just hearing that. Is it possible that my party and your group can have an accord here and we leave each other alone at this point?
Sure, we've managed to almost kill each other. Let's see, I've got about 5 people left from my clan. We're gonna go back to the Underdark. You can have this place. It's not for me.
I don't think I want it either. But if I were to tell the dwarves that did formerly live here that they could return, would you be angry?
No, they can have the place. Just tell them the next time they're digging caves to not go down into the Underdark. That's how they got all this started anyway.
Not go into Underdark.
Not dig up any cursed metals and build anything like that.
I can try, but there's a good chance that I forget half of that by time I make it back to the city, so... But I will do my best.
Yes, and she kind of reaches in her pocket. And here's a copy of the book I was mentioning. Now, when you get to chapter 3, you should take your time. That's the chapter where he shows her his anvil, if you know what I mean.
I can see you've already marked the page.
Yeah. It's a well-loved book.
I will treasure this. Not as much as my holy symbol to Bahamut, but maybe half as much.
I think if I can remember the schedule, I hadn't seen it in a while, but I think probably 2 of the towns will probably be destroyed already. So the other towns probably destroyed in a few more hours. I would say by sunrise, all the towns will be destroyed. So you should probably find somewhere else to go.
That's not good. Well, we will see you later. I will have to gather my party and get out of here.
Yes, you should gather your party before venturing forth.
Alright. So, while that was happening and guarding the walk, then we're just going to go back in time a little bit here, for however long that interaction was. Garen just looks at Laja, like, found some plans about the dragon and shit. It's in my bag.
We found a bunch of maps in there. One of them at least has to lead to where we're looking to go.
Oh, yeah, I found a map, too, of the attack pattern of the dragon. And all the towns it's going to hit.
Well, then we should probably get this stuff out of here, and then we can deal with those problems.
I don't know. What's the stuff I'm carrying?
I already have an armful of maps. And if you look in, there's like open chests. If you want to go in there, you can, but
Alright. Gotta take a peek at each one. Varian, do you have a bag with you? Oh no, we can't bring anything. Boop, boop, boop.
Virian's gonna.
wait, is
start
Guardian
putting his
gonna
clothes
open the
on.
only one that we haven't opened?
I think-
don't know.
We would have told him, right?
This is
I
you don't
told
have
him
a chance to
exactly
tell
what I said.
yeah, and you're talking with the old lady right now.
Does he have the key? Did you give him the key?
I didn't give him the key. Virian has the key, but we'll see what he decides to do.
He can probably smash it.
Look at the chest for a second.
That's the closed one.
Poke it.
Yeah, nothing happens. It's a locked chest.
Look at the other
Meanwhile,
ones.
I'm putting my armor back on. After I put all of these maps in my backpack, which is now pretty full. We started out the campaign with it being almost empty, and now there's just a whole bunch of stuff in there.
I'll try and open a jam.
So if you want to open it without the key, you're going to have to try to break it open. Do you want to try that?
Sure.
Give me a strength athletics check. You break it open. So you push all of your weight into it, and using your strength, you manage to break the lock. And as you open it, you catch the glimpse of a strange-looking statue that's set inside of the chest. It looks like some kind of demon, but immediately that you lose your attention because the eyes of the statue are gleaming a bright red. Can you give me a charisma saving throw, please?
Whoa.
Oh dear. Oh, that's just good enough. You feel on the side of your mind something starting to claw at it, but you've had enough of mind control today, and you look away.
At the moment I feel that, I'm just reaching my hand and I'm smashing it into the ground.
Okay. I'd say you go to smash the statue, can't really seem to damage it, but in all of that, the door, the lid closes on the chest, and it's not affecting you anymore. Basically, you couldn't smash it, so.
Fucking mind control bullshit. I'm just gonna start grabbing the chest, and I'm just gonna use the chain to, like, link them, and I'm just pulling them along with me.
I would say, based on the size of these guys, you could probably take two of them easily. Two of them easily, or the one that's full of gold, only that one, because that one is going to be very heavy.
How heavy?
Heavy. Probably. I mean, it's a big chest full of gold. It's a lot of gold. So that's
how much in pounds? Because I do have a half-ton carrying capacity.
It's probably going to be close to that.
So 500 pounds?
Probably, yeah. Gold's heavy.
Push, pull, and drag. Yeah, 500 plus, actually.
Also, remember you are very far away from any town, and you don't have any other way to transport this apart from you carrying it.
Yeah, but we got Suzanne.
We still don't know where she is.
Yeah, she's probably dead fighting that dragon.
Okay, here, I'll make a deal with it. You can move this chest easily, but if you move it, I'd say as far as one of the 10 towns, it'll give you a point of exhaustion.
Well, we're already exhausted. We can't do anything. We have to do a long rest anyways, so yeah, sure.
Okay. So that one chest, okay.
No one grabbing anything else from this stuff?
I wasn't planning on it. Oh. And I see him like pulling that giant chest.
Roker's outside of the room.
So is anyone else going to do anything else in Battlehammer Hold before we move on?
I think we'll just look for the other what is it? The other lift and take that way out.
Okay. Yeah, just giving you one more chance. If there's anything else you want to do here, I just want to move us along because it's the end of the night here.
Well, if we're just tossing stuff into our bags, what about all the other items from the chests? How heavy are they? Like if I were to take the items out.
I would say you've got that one with the gold covered. The rest of you guys could probably take 3 chests worth of stuff.
Well, Rorgar's not taking any.
Well, I'm not talking about the chests themselves, because the chest is apparently very heavy.
Yeah, not the chests themselves, the contents. I mean, I don't have a good breakdown of the weight, but it's all pretty small stuff. I'm assuming you could take at least 3 chests worth of stuff with you with no problem. For everyone that's not Guardian, because he's carrying a big container full of gold.
No, I'm dragging it.
Sure.
Or pushing it or lifting it. 540 pounds. Carrying capacity is 270. So I can still carry stuff. My current capacity right now for what I'm with all my gear is 90. So I can load up my bag with all the stuff from the chests. Except for that little shitty one.
I think amongst all of you, if you really wanted to, you could carry, like I said, you could carry the chest of gold and the contents of 3 other chests. If that's what you want to do.
Well, I'm trying to say that we could take it all.
Yeah, I'm saying for easy's sake, because I don't have a breakdown of the weight of all of this stuff.
I think
just
that's fair.
To be easy, I'm just saying you can take 3 chests and then the gold chest as well. Like, I realize that the weights probably won't measure out, but really it'll take forever to figure out what that'll be.
So I guess we say Guardian's taking the one with all the money, and that mask, and then Laja and Virian, if they want to take something, can pick, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well,
And
I'm just worried
Rorgar-
that I'm worried if we're leaving these chests behind, we're going to leave something that we might need later down the road, but we left it behind. I'm saying, like, if Guardian is at 90 pounds for carrying, I can still load up to 270 for carry and still drag, push, or lift 540 pounds. That's not counting towards my total weight. I'm just worried that if we leave something behind, it's going to bite us in the ass later. As a player, saying this.
I think what we were supposed to get was I think we were just supposed to come in, like, we could have snuck in and gotten the map and snuck out, and it probably wouldn't have really
There's
bothered
nothing
us too much.
story critical on any of this stuff, just to tell you. It's all like gold, pretty much. Or yeah.
I think the most important object was probably the one that I kicked into lava.
That would have made a few things easier, yeah. But yeah, nothing story here. I mean, it's really if you want to have a lot of gold or you want to have a really fancy dinner party with a really fancy headdress. That's really what the things here are for.
Or a relaxing night with some romance novels, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, Rorgar got his special item already.
I'm good with just going with what we have.
And I can always drop a list of what is in each of the chests and we can resolve it through chat too. It's not a big deal.
Because I do have
Okay.
like 190 room left for carrying stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we can always figure it out between sessions.
Yeah,
It's
it can be fuzzy. I can figure out weights if you want to go that way with a Guardian. We can figure that out later. But like I said, nothing story specific has to be taken out of this room apart from the maps, which you already have.
So, Laja,
Yes?
if we ever see Shandar ever again, it's going to be very funny when not only we kick him out of his own town, but then we tell him that you made Battlehammer Hold home to the dwarves again.
I, at this point, am just hoping that we don't run into Shandar at all.
True. And maybe Mechanical Dragon has already beat his head off.
As far as I'm concerned, he is just not on my radar whatsoever. He can go live his life, and that is fine with me. Honestly, I was pretty close to just maybe socking him once or twice, but luckily we ended up, parting ways before anything happened that I might regret.
Well, I think we now know what we have to do, and that is to find and kill a mechanical dragon.
Unfortunately.
And then I think I turn and see Guardian, who's in that room, and he doesn't appear like he's taken off clothes. And I'll be like, Guardian, have you been blessed by the dwarves?
Just looks back at him like, what?
This Guardian, he is always a surprise. Yeah, Rorgar has nothing else he wants to do here.
Okay.
If we can just get the hell out.
Yeah.
And sleep.
So as you make your way out of Battlehammer Hold, the dwarves that are remaining don't give you any trouble, and for the most part, it appears as though the hold has been abandoned. Gandalfa is good to her word, and she leads her people away, and you really have no trouble taking the second lift back up to the surface. And as you make your way outside of the hold, you notice that there's a cold, strong wind blowing from the west, and it's even blowing down into the valley. And immediately when you all step out into the away from the keep, that's really what gathers your attention. As you slowly make your way up, out of the valley, you hear the distant howling of wolves and other animals. And as you look up brightly in the sky, first of all, you notice there is no moon in the sky. And there are bright green and bluish and purple auroras that have lit, the air around you to the point to where it almost feels like you're in daylight, but this is just because the auroras are so light. To the west, as you finally make your way up out of the valley, you see in the distance a glow, which has got to be a fire of some sort. Something significantly, a large fire to light up the horizon in the way that it is, but it's to the west. But before we end for the night, you all hear a cry, sounds like a screech, and as you look up, flying through the sky on the back of a large eagle, and this eagle is probably, twice, its wingspan is probably twice the wingspan of a large dragon. It's that large, and it's a very strange figure flying across the sky, backed by the auroras behind it. But seated on this eagle is a figure unlike you've ever seen before. It looks... You remember the statue back in East Haven of this owl that almost looked like a human in owl form, sort of. And, it leans over and you can see it in the distant sky and it looks at all of you. And at this moment, you all realize that this is actually in the sky above you right now, Oral, the Frost Maiden, the goddess of winter, directly overhead. And as she looks down at all of you, even in a far distance away, you feel her gaze piercing all of you, and you are all chilled to the bone. Even you, Guardian, you all feel a darkness taking your soul. And I would like all of you to roll a D100 for me, please, first.
Do I have any sort of, advantage on this?
Nope.
Hey, 30s Club, welcome, Virion.
We did it. We made it.
All right, so you have all suffered one effect of long-term madness, which we'll deal with how long it lasts next. But Virion, let's see, Virion, Virion and Guardian. You both now suffer extreme paranoia. You have disadvantage on wisdom and charisma checks. Laja, you feel compelled to repeat a specific activity over and over. It can be washing hands, touching things, praying, counting coins. You feel like you need to do it over and over. And Rorgar, for you, you have become attached to a lucky charm, and you have disadvantage on attack rolls, ability checks, and saving throws when you're more than 30 feet from it. And if you can now roll a d10 for me, I'll tell you how long it's going to last. I'll repeat all this later, too, for you.
Can I immediately tell you what that lucky charm is?
Sure.
It's clearly his holy symbol.
Okay. I thought it would be the book.
He hasn't yet.
So Guardian, this is going to affect you for 20 hours. Laja, this is going to affect you for 50 hours. Virion, this is going to affect you for 90 hours.
Jesus.
And Rorgar, this is going to affect you for 80 hours.
And considering Virion can't sleep, oh no.
The paranoia makes sense. This is my favorite part of the game here.